I think I'm not exactly sure. See, I had back in the Titanic day, I had Singapore and Hong Kong, I believe. Um, I think the playing cards, well, they could have come from China or Japan because like Hong Kong, Singapore, and China and Japan, they're all basically pretty much the same. Like I say, if you look, you're gonna notice basically the same people, plus or minus a couple Aberic or people from Saudi Arabia or not. Oh no, I mean they're stonemasons. They came from the Himalayas or something, but they were called Ace something or other or something like that. I forget their exact name, but they were stonemasons and they were up from the mountain or whatever. And there was like 5,000 of these stonemasons that I like helped feed a long time ago, like thousands of years ago. There were these stonemasons, are these people that knew stonework and I like started feeding them rice or something like that because they were starving and there was way too many of them. And we went up there and we fed them and everything else like that. And pretty soon I had like 74,000 stonemasons because well, people they kind of reproduce like puppy dogs or rabbits or cats. And so then I had like 75,000 stonemasons. And I'm like, I guess we're getting some stonework. Anyway, so it's kind of how I got the marble from for the White House as well is that there's these stonemasons and all this and that and also people are always giving me their daughters basically they're like and $4 daughters for you or dollars we don't have $4 so we're going to send you 4 daughters because I had the American dollar. So because they didn't have $4 American, they would send they had 4 daughters. So they would send me, and a daughter also meant a printer as well, because well I taught because I got all these daughters from all these different people. Like I got 8 daughters from Saudi Arabia. I got 24 daughters from like the Middle East and China and all these other places. And they send me all these women because they don't have material possessions because they don't have that much. But they do have women and children. So they send me all these daughters. And what I actually do is I take the because it's like, well, what are you going to do with all these girls? And it's like, I'd like to date with them maybe. And but like I have too many. I have like 3,000 or 50,000 or 75,000 women that are basically entrusted to me, given to me. Basically, they're sworn to me pretty much. Actually, there's probably like a couple million maybe. By now, I think they counted the last time and they were like, well, you got about 50 million women, basically, that are entrusted to you. Yeah. So anyway, so I turn them around and I start educating them and I start making daughters. And what they do is they make little shapes out of dots or the dot or they do printing work and stuff like that. And I turned the women that were betrothed, entrusted to me to basically doing scientific and what's called research. And I'm like, well, I don't need 75,000 of you, but we could do this because all these women are basically shipped to me. And I actually happen to have the food capability to handle that many women. And then the men come in and basically get most of them pregnant. And I'm like, they were entrusted in me so I could mate with them? Oh, well, I guess we'll get the next batch. Anyway, so this goes on, and so like anyway, there's also translation errors. So I have a lot of daughters, so that ends up being daughters, and then I have a lot of wives or women because the wives or women are like, well, we don't mind having sex with the Lord, or the king, which is me. So and then a couple other people like Adolf Hitler are like, oh well, I'll use that. It sounds good to me, It's like, well, you're not really the Lord, I am. So anyway, yeah. So I have a lot of daughters and a lot of boys that are basically entrusted to me or sworn to me or whatever, and I use them for my police officers, my guards, my scientists, my note takers, and basically I have this great big following behind me, pretty much, of people, and they're like, and they're like, do 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 do, they're like do 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 do, like little ducklings. And I'm like, there's 5 million people behind me. Anyway, so, and all this and that, and Nixon and Kennedy and some others start making a mess, and I'm like, so basically, yeah. So that's how it all gets kind of crazy and all that other stuff, because a lot of people do love me and are sworn to me and actually do, because they don't have anything other than their daughters, which is their females. They have nothing but their females. So I get lots of females, and we start messing around with their genetics and doing some other stuff, and like that's how I get ballerinas and gymnastics and lumber people, because also people are like, well, we can't feed him, so we're gonna send him to you, and I'm like, well, all right. So they start going to my military bases, because it's like, is the Lord here? Or like Lucifer, White Star, like Lucifer, is the Lord in? Is Lucifer in? So basically they start going to my military bases, and they kind of start, or my factories, and I close factories down. I move one factory to another factory. I have too many people at some factories, and we start like, working it all out. And like moving people around, doing this, doing that, getting things, what's called, like I say, and then somebody wants to do a stupid war, but it's like, well, it's my world, my planet, they're entrusted to me, not them. And so, I have like all the daughters entrusted, like all the daughters that have been entrusted to me over the years, they've been entrusted to me. And same with the boys and the men, whatever. And over the years, I've gotten quite a collection of basically people entrusted to me. And they're happily entrusted to me, and they love me, and they do exactly as I want them to do, and exactly the way I want them to do it. And basically it all works out very well for everyone, pretty much. And a lot of old people are like, look at him. He's surrounded by his own people that are all entrusted to him. It's like, yes. But they don't know it, or they don't want to admit it. So, yeah. So anyway, and yeah. Well, and also gondolas and taxis and,